of this video is to provide suggested guidelines to passenger-carrying helicopter operators who desire to produce their own passenger briefing video. This video is intended only as a guide and should not be used as an actual briefing video. The FAA strongly encourages you to produce your own video which incorporates the appropriate points from this program as well as any other company and/or helicopter-specific items important to your operation. Only then can you be sure that the briefing meets all of the needs of your operation while satisfying the requirements of the Federal Aviation Regulations.
The utilization of a passenger briefing video can significantly add to the safety of your operations in that all of your briefings will be standardized. It visually demonstrates the major points of the briefing. It allows for presentations to large groups of passengers or just one passenger. And it can enhance the understanding and safety for foreign language speaking passengers. The passenger briefing video introduction is a good opportunity to emphasize any general points about your operation, the specific helicopters that you utilize, and facility notes that you feel important. This is also a good time to remind them to listen to all instructions of the pilot and any attendants, and clearly indicate what the policy for your company is regarding smoking in and around the helicopter. Possibly the most important safety item is the mandate for passengers to never go towards the rear of the helicopter. Emphasize the area to avoid as strongly as you can, and also show that the spinning tail rotor is especially difficult to see, and that any encounter with this component is usually fatal. One item you may want to emphasize is that passengers waiting to depart should not interrupt the pilot where pre-flight activities are being performed. Whether alone or escorted by an attendant, passengers should be instructed to approach the helicopter from the front or side in plain view of the pilot and always follow the instructions of the pilot or attendant. Demonstrate and stress paying attention to hand signals such as approach, stop, and go back. Also important when approaching or leaving the helicopter is to stay low and never hold objects such as umbrellas or fishing gear higher than head height. Also, remind your passengers to hold on to loose items and never chase them if they should get away. The pilot or attendant will retrieve their items for them. Inform your passengers that they should pay attention to all attendant instructions, which can include your specific procedures for dealing with cell phones and pagers, as well as the importance of staying in the assigned seats for weight and balance considerations. Be sure to indicate your procedure for loading luggage and equipment into outside storage areas. For example, if it's your policy that only pilots or attendants perform this function, then state that clearly. Many operations allow the passengers to open the doors for entry and exit. Proper door operating technique can be shown, as well as how to properly enter the helicopter while protecting the door. One of the most misunderstood techniques for passengers is boarding. Showing exactly where to step both outside and inside the helicopter is essential. The briefing video is an excellent way to show what not to lean or pull on while entering the helicopter, such as bracing oneself on the door or pulling on the frame of an open window. Demonstrating proper door closing technique is also important if your passengers will be required to perform this task. Seatbelt use is a major briefing item, and each step should be shown clearly. The order in which the shoulder harness straps are inserted or attached is very important. Proper seatbelt release instructions are also required. The location, positioning, and use of the headsets should also be a part of the cabin briefing. You may want to mention the need to remove larger earrings for greater passenger comfort and noise suppression. If oxygen is available on your aircraft, its use should be demonstrated. If your operation uses flotation devices, you should show where they are located and how to properly put them on. Instructions should be clear as to how they are opened, placed on the passenger, and demonstrate all methods of inflation. Emphasis should be given to not inflating the vest until one has completely exited the aircraft. Make sure that you show your passengers the location of all fire extinguishers. You can also demonstrate the technique required for removing the extinguisher, where the operating instructions are located, and the steps required for discharging the extinguisher. You should show the type and location of the first aid kit. Showing the opening and closing of the doors from the inside is essential, along with any emergency procedures that go along with door or emergency exit operation. It is very important that you show the location of the passenger briefing card and emphasize the importance of reviewing that card prior to each flight or whenever they have a safety procedures question. Be sure to remind passengers to stay seated with their belt fastened during the entire flight. This might also be a good time to inform passengers of the sterile cockpit rule for environments where the intercoms are live all of the time. At the end of the flight, passengers should not remove headsets or seatbelts until instructed to do so by the pilot. If an attendant is used, they should wait for them to open the doors and escort them away. A final reminder should be made to leave to the front or side of the helicopter in plain view of the pilot. Hopefully, the ideas and techniques shown in this video will help your operation develop a passenger briefing video that is most effective for you. If you need additional assistance in producing a passenger briefing video, you may contact the FAA Aviation Safety Program at 202-267-8212 or Lanier Media Video Productions at 704-548-0066.